DreAllDay.com. All right, Dre All Day. If y'all missed the intro to the first video I put out, this is another video from my guy Jacob over at the Jump Manual. He's sharing a bunch of information about vertical jump. If you missed the previous videos, go back and watch them so you get 100% of the information. That is, if you're trying to get your vertical up, work on your game.
Awesome, guys. So if you're here, I know that you're taking this seriously. And I want you to know that I've spent the last 10 years studying and training different athletes as well as myself. And I have literally thousands of testimonials from real athletes that I've worked with who have increased their athleticism. It's kind of my mission to bring you elite level training and to any serious athlete who's willing to put in the time and effort to get it done. So if you've got the drive, I'm going to give you the tools and techniques to get it done. So I've trained myself to perform at elite levels, and I've trained others to perform at elite levels. But to be honest, none of that really matters. And what matters is you understanding and then applying proper techniques and principles. I'm not asking you to take my word for it. I'm asking you to understand it and apply it. This is on you. So why do I say this? So when I was in junior high and high school and college, I just did what my coaches said. I trusted them, I worked hard, and for 8 years, I was marking my progress, and my progress was frustrating. I spent money, I trusted in the programs I bought, and that's why I'm telling you that you have to take charge. And if you don't take charge, you might end up just spending time, money, and effort and getting nowhere. So I'm telling you that you've got to become the boss. When I was 22, I started taking charge of my own training. I got certified as a trainer. I studied everything I could get my hands on. I studied Russian training. I studied Michael Jordan's training. I studied plyometrics. I studied everything. And I got far enough in that I realized that more research had to be done on this topic. So I spent literally thousands of dollars buying the research equipment. I hooked athletes up to electrodes, and I figured out exactly what muscles fired, how long athletes were spending on the ground, and I knew what training was actually helping athletes get better. So from the information that I gathered, I created my own system. And within 3 months of using my own system, I was finally jumping higher and doing the dunks that I wish I could have done back in high school. Of course, I was already older by this point, but I was pumped. And everywhere I went, if I was at a local gym or just at a park somewhere, people would ask me, how did you learn to jump like that? So I started explaining them all the things that I had learned, and I just realized I had to write the book. So eventually I wrote the book on jumping higher and moving more explosively. And within about 1.5 years, it became the #1 best-selling book on explosive training. And I had testimonials coming in like mad. I had ESPN on the phone. I had Sports Illustrated literally fly down and watch me train athletes. Men's Health called. Fadeaway Magazine called. I was getting contacted from literally all over the world. So pretty soon, I was training athletes and coaching staffs all over the world. And I've trained athletes and coaches in 33 different countries. But that doesn't matter. Again, you have to dial in. This is on you. You have to understand and internalize and apply what I'm going to teach you. And if you do this, you will get results. Not only will you get results, you'll understand why you are getting them, and you'll be able to take control of your own athletic destiny. So what I really want to do is put you in charge. So guys, if you've zoned off from my little story, dial back in right now. So I've told you already that you need strength and quickness to become explosive. And it's more about how you do it than what you do. So increasing strength is really all about tension and high resistance. And increasing quickness is more about your nervous system activation. Let me tell you a fact. Joint angles matter when you're training. Look at this picture of me on the left. This is the second time I did my program. I was in my 30s already, and I trained this exact joint angle, and I got results even faster than when I originally did with my program. So lifting or doing jumping or plyometric practice, you've got to use the same joint angles as your sport-specific movement. So your rule number 4 for training: always train sport-specific joint angles. And this applies to the 2 exercises I gave you back in video 1, if you remember. So for my athletes, what I do is I take a video and I pause it at the exact joint angles that they're using when they start their vertical leap. So if you train or squat in a different joint angle, it's just not going to work. So look at the 2 joint angles here. You don't want to lift like a power lifter. You want to lift to strengthen your jumping muscles, or your strength and activation pattern will simply not transfer to the movement you want it to. You'd be training strength in the wrong places. So I've seen guys train powerlifting and get super strong, and that's great for moving heavy weight, but it's bad for jumping higher. So because they're not training proper joint angles, it simply doesn't transfer over. So one more training rule before we move on. Any strength training you do must always be accompanied by sport-specific quickness training. Yes, in the same session. So anytime you train weights or strength, you've got to mix in a set of plyometric or quickness training. You've got to constantly be telling your muscles that you need to be quick and not only strong. Okay, I've covered a lot of information in a brief period of time here, but in video 3, I'm going to show you some crazy techniques, really, that will allow you to jump higher within 45 minutes. This is some of the coolest and most effective training that you'll see yet, because it actually works instantly, and I'm going to show you the exercises and techniques you can apply during the video. So come prepared to actually try something new and watch it work immediately.
Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.